La corrupción es un estado social que redefine las relaciones entre las personas. Es una condición en la cual bajo la cual la gente se deja dominar. No se nace corrupto. Creo que el mismo ambiente genera esa corrupción. Y cuando uno deja que se convierta en un estado para la persona, tú lo multiplicas en cualquier momento. Corrupto no es el Estado, corrupto no es el político que hace una negociación fraudulenta. Corruptos podemos ser todos si nos dejamos atrapar por una forma de vida en la que tomamos malas decisiones y sabemos que esa decisión afecta a un tercero. Eso es ser corrupto.
I put the diversion of resources or services from their intended means or concentration of resources to a certain group.
Corruption. I'm reminded of a joke I was told when I first came to Colombia. The joke was basically this. There were two senators, a Colombian and an American. The Colombian senator was visiting the American senator. He went to his house and he observed what a great mansion he lived in. And he asked him, he said, "How do you do it, senador?" And the American senator said, "Come here." And he showed him through a window. He opened the window and he showed him a bridge. And the American said, 30%. Guess he They said goodbye, and then one day later, the American senator went to the Colombian's house in Colombia. And he gets there and he sees this awesome house, very elegant. He's got everything. And the American asked the Colombian senator, "Senador, how did you get all this?" And the Colombian goes to the window, opens it up, and he says, "You see that bridge over there?" And the American looks. He said, "No." He goes, 100%.
Political corruption is using the power of government so that you can gain from it, probably financially or politically. There's also social corruption where we're using fake IDs to get into clubs. Not that you guys would ever do anything like that. I'm just saying it exists, right? Cutting in line. I'm not saying the seniors do any of that kind of stuff either, but I'm just saying that those are forms of corruption.
Corruption can be seen by the public services that are provided by the government, such as the roads and how they're maintained, and the diversion of resources from where they're supposed to go to where they do go, and then also the concentration of resources that are available to a select few.
I see corruption in Colombia. Well, I see it politically. I think a lot of people have lost faith in how the government is because of the gap between the rich and the poor. A small percentage control a significant portion of the wealth. It's very obvious in day-to-day life. You see it within a lot of the products that are being exploited and sent to other countries where only a few or a small percentage of people are actually benefiting from that.
Good?
Yeah, wait, my arm is getting tired. Okay. Go on.
Most people that would come here, they would assume that everyone's associated with Pablo Escobar and drugs and so forth. When I came here, I knew there was corruption. I knew a lot of issues that happened in this country. I lived in Latin America before, so I was aware of what was going on. Probably to the extent, the gap between the rich and the poor, I had no idea about that. And to know that Colombia was one of the top 10, maybe 15 countries in the world with the largest gap, I had no idea about that aspect. And a lot of it does go back to corruption. And I did know that Colombia had a long history of political, economic, and social corruption.
Okay.
How do I see it in Colombia? Well, there's this organization called Transparency International that looks at corruption perceptions by country, and Colombia is seen as a very corrupt country by the people living in Colombia.
Tristemente juega un papel importantísimo, porque a mayor o menor nivel de corrupción se permiten hacer mejores o peores políticas públicas para el beneficio de las personas.